Are you guys?
Hi, Carol. Are you awake? Barely. We can't hear you. Okay, let's see. How are you this morning? How's your garden this morning, Suzanne?
Hello.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm on my phone, so I had to work out how to mute this. We're actually in a caravan park. We're traveling, so we're in a caravan park. I'm in my car at 11 o'clock at night, hoping I don't wake up the neighbours.
Well, thanks for taking the initiative to join us. We really value your presence.
Thank you. It's good to be here. I'm just went on the Facebook page just tonight and got totally confused. So this is a good, timely meeting.
Yes,
Yeah, really.
for sure.
Um,
I show we still have a few minutes before starting time. We'll just wait for some others.
Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
have very good news. It's
What?
What's that?
raining. It's raining.
Oh,
Oh, the fires are just all around us. And so this morning I just got to stand out in the rain.
No.
oh, beautiful. Is there much rain or enough to put the fires out?
Oh, it's not enough to put the fires out, but it's indication that the storm beings are working with us. It's a start. May it
It's
continue.
Yeah.
It slows them down a little bit, yes.
Clears the air so you can take a deep breath anyway.
Exactly. It's been very difficult to even go outside to breathe. It's been tough.
I'll bet it's
But
hard
it's
outside.
happened many, many, many times here in Idaho.
Yeah, that's actually why we left Oregon, because I just couldn't breathe for 6 months out of the year. I couldn't take a deep breath.
Oh, it's true. It's true. May we affirm healthier, clearer air for all the sweet earth and all our family. Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Mariana, are you able to turn your voice up a little bit?
I don't know. Let's see.
I'm finding it hard to hear you.
It is hard to hear you.
Okay,
Yeah.
let me check my settings. Hmm. Oh, here we go. Is that better?
That's
Yes.
better. Yes.
For some reason, it was down on 37%.
Yeah. Excellent.
Hi, Beverly.
How are you?
Good, good.
You're from
Okay.
Western Australia, Beverly.
Western Australia, yes.
Yeah, so it'd be what, 1 o'clock in the morning over there?
No, my love, we're behind you. It's only
Oh,
9
okay.
o'clock.
Oh, you're right.
I've got sort of like a semi-reasonable time.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's certainly lovely to see your faces, Carol and Beverly. I just so appreciate your presence and good heartedness and valor.
Yeah.
Thank you kindly for all you've been doing.
Oh,
Thank you.
you're welcome. I wish there was more I could do.
Right.
Well, there he is.
Mate, there's more.
There's
How
the-
about
okay, I think
Careful what you wish for.
yeah, we're still missing a couple of us, but it is time. Sharon, do you want to
Yes,
call us in?
I do. I do. I think it's always that important, especially in the work we're doing in the days we're in, to secure our space. So I just invite each of you to put your body, make sure that your physical body is feeling supported. And take a breath, bringing the focus of your soul, your consciousness into the body. So breathing the energy right down, saying to Gaia, thank you for letting me be here in your beauty, in your support of all the creations you have here. Let your breathing continue to fill your body soothe with regenerative energy as we sit. Being in the physical body gives you the power, the authority to make the changes that are being called for. So all that is out there in the unseen, breathe it right here into the here and now. Whatever way is comfortable for you, cocoon yourself, your home, your land, those you love, certainly the council and the circle today. In a cocoon of protection, divine guidance, that we sit together in respect and honor with those who are in the unseen, who also have the highest and best intentions for you, for our work, for this circle. We gather in this space as sacred ground of sovereignty, open to that in the unseen world of intelligence possibilities beyond imagination that is of good. Be here with us. We honor the directions, all that they bring to keep us stable and moving. The elements and all the creations of Gaia who help us in broadcasting and sending out new information, new patterns. So we gather with the intention to be clear, to be seen, and to help those who have good intentions be seen. And everything is now set, open for our work, and so it is.
Thank you. So we have, yeah, I feel the emptiness of the other two not being here. I just want to honor that I'm feeling that. We are at a point where we're needing to expand. So having all of us present is really valuable. And I know Carol has been doing a lot of things on the other Carol has also been doing a lot in the moderation, but
Yeah.
I didn't hear from them about not attending. So maybe they'll still come in.
Yeah, I'm a bit curious because when the initial time went out, it was Mountain Daylight Time, and that was 12 o'clock my time. So I wonder if there's some confusion there.
Oh, well, I may have made a mistake. I do those things.
Because I looked it up, and when I looked it up, it said no, that was 11 o'clock, and then I realised it said 11 o'clock Mountain Standard Time or something, not Mountain Daylight Time. So I wonder if
Oh,
there's a confusion on that one.
There might have been. Yeah.
You know, that's
Well,
a
anyway.
good observation that maybe in the meetings to come that we ask for. I have received this email or this Zoom link that, you know, that there is a
Acknowledgement,
type
yeah.
up on that end.
Yeah. Well, and we now I've learned how to schedule through Zoom and can have people register back. And I hadn't learned that for this call, but now I know how to do that so we can ensure responses from the
Very good.
participants.
Mhm.
Cool.
Very good.
So,
Thank you.
yeah. So did you by chance get to read the email that I sent?
Yes, I
With-
did.
Okay, Bev, did you see the
The one
email
today, the one that
last night or today for you?
yeah. Look, I did read some of it. As I said, it's been really hard for me to be online because I've been quite ill for the last week,
Oh,
and just being on a screen was doing my head in. I don't know, just couldn't do it.
okay.
These
So
color glasses really help. They cut the
Oh,
vibration.
okay.
They're called blue light computer
Blue
glasses.
light glasses. Yep.
Oh, they really, really help. And I get the amber toned one, and it just because I identify with that queasiness and the vibes that come through the
Yeah.
screen.
Yeah.
well,
I've
we are definitely at a point where we have to rewrite, clarify, change the language that we use. There was a very extensive post. There's with 120 some comments about the men being in the group. And I noticed, I was going through all of the things, and there was one spot that I hadn't seen that was where the welcome message is. And it's where when someone comes in and becomes a member, that first message that they read before they even read the rules was really not saying anything at all. It was some quote from the Dalai Lama, a quote from somebody else, but it didn't really speak to who we are. So that needed to change. And let me just pull up I'll just read to you what I am suggesting we have there.
Yep.
Just a second. Okay, so welcome. #We belong. We are a gathering of grandmothers' wisdom from all cultures around the world, developing local grandmothers' councils and networking them together with global action. We are an open and public group who recognize that all need wisdom from the grandmothers, and there are many young people and men who support the process of grandmothers rising. We follow the model of transparency. Nothing is hidden, all is revealed. Integrity, compassion, and kind interactions are the standard here. The councils we form are only open to women who take positions of leadership. Our Zoom calls are only open to women members. Please report anything that is a scam, spam, bots, or not grandmother wisdom based to the admin team.
Good.
Yeah.
So I joined a fair while ago, so I don't know if there, because in a lot of groups you have to say I acknowledge all the rules. I don't. Is that there
Yes.
in as well? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So that's the first message. And then it goes to next and it gives the rules. And then you have to click confirm.
Yep.
So by revising the rules, and we didn't have rules at first, we just got rules like a couple, 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So now we have, and now we need to revise those rules because they're not clear enough, because as we grow and we come into better knowledge of how to communicate and what people's concerns are, we just have to keep addressing that all are welcome in this space, but there is going to be a space that is just for women that we're creating, that's our whole purpose, is creating that website where it will be just women in there.
Mayana, do you see a point in time in the near future where we have these rules? I think we want to call them something else, and that we have everybody, the 55,000, whoever they are on the chart, sign up.
I don't think we can do that. I don't think
No.
we can do that.
I think
Well-
you can ask them to read it and thing, but I
Yeah.
don't think you can't take everybody off and get them to re-register.
No,
Just
yeah,
wondering.
no, they wouldn't do that.
My question is this was because I'm new to the moderator part right now, and who's, because to me, a moderator or whatever else name we are,
Administrators.
not set the rules. The rule, we say the rules are broken or not broken, but we don't set the rules or the agreements. I like the word agreements better, much better for a
Yeah.
woman. But up until now, has this group been the one that has set the rules or the agreements? And because we have not had other councils right up until now. I mean, there's been like 3 or 4 or 5 of you who've been kind of keeping everything going. But as administrator, and a moderator, I don't know that I want to be the one also setting policy or which is agreements.
Well, the rules, we designed the rules. Michelle and Suzanne and I wrote the rules when we found that we just really had to have some kind of guidance. So we established rules, and because we can't change the name for Facebook requires you to use the word rules. So under each rule, like our first one is our guiding principle, and then the principles of interaction. So we're using different languages in the title of each rule, but Facebook uses the word rules and we can't change that. But it is the admin's duty to come up with the rules, and we have to make sure that now that we have the values, that those are integrated into the rules. And and there's a lot of words in the values.
That's what I was thinking is like, we are right, but
Yeah.
what about having a smaller group of council that takes the values from the massive they are and
Right.
and into
Fill them down.
into other places, but condenses them down so we make sure they're integrated in our statements, et cetera. And then I think another step would be for me, and I've seen this in other organizations where the statement, let's say what the first agreement, which might be 2 or 3 paragraphs, has it all encapsulated into maybe one sentence that's at the top. So that if you want, if you read the sentence at the top, that would encapsulate. If you want to read more, you can. Or you could even take those, let's say we have four agreements. You could take the encapsulated agreements, and here is the outline form, 1, 2, 3, 4, and here is the expanded form. Because people's attention doesn't go through the whole, you know what I mean? I think still we are exactly where we need to be, but I think evolving is what I'm seeing. And I'd like, yeah, go ahead.
One of the big bold letter agreements is that if you are not a member, you cannot post. And when I kick out a lot of people who are not members but make vile comments.
Yeah.
And so those 4 agreements don't work. And so I always comment not a member. So can we put that in there?
In the settings, it says only members can post and comment, but Facebook isn't keeping that true and isn't holding that firm. And I don't know what to do about that. Because there's a setting that says only members can post and comment, So now what you have to do is to approve a member to be able to post and comment. And when we're getting so many new members, 500 a day, we don't have the bandwidth to be able to do that.
Well, I'm just, as an administrator that's actively engaged with those coming in and putting up articles on the rules page,
Uh-huh.
for simplification, since the 4 rules do not speak to, you are not a member, so don't speak, can we put that as the 5th entry? So I can just click it rather than having to type in, they are not a member.
Yeah. Yeah, we can add that only members are welcome to post and comment.
Right.
Okay.
So when you get this spam, you can just say not a member. Yeah. Although
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
say they've joined.
Yeah.
Now it says
Well, that's where you
when
click
you
on
go to their profile page, it does say they've joined.
just that
So,
day. What I'm seeing is that
Yeah.
I go online, there'll be these posts of strange pictures, and
Yeah.
I check, and they just entered that day. So I do not consider them an established member because
oh, okay, yep.
And
Yep.
also another change Alicia suggested. I've been in touch with your daughter, Suzanne, Alicia, and she
you.
she suggested that we make it only profiles can post, because we had profiles and pages could post. So I did change that. So pages can't post, only profiles.
Yep.
And she said, maybe it's time that you close the group. So she used to work for Facebook, so she's a experienced professional there. And maybe we need to consider, with 51,500 people, do we want to close it or do we want to keep it open?
I've seriously thought about that, going private.
Yeah.
And closing
And
it doesn't
it doesn't
mean
mean
that you
that
don't get
people
members.
won't find us.
Beverly,
People, I
Sharon?
said, and people will still find us even if we're a private group. With the 51,000 that are in there, if they invite their friends, they'll be able to come in as well.
Yeah.
And I think as we build, there'll be more people wanting to invite their friends in too.
Mm.
Sharon, you have something you want to say?
I'm really kind of confused and a little uncomfortable here, because as we were talking about putting an organization together, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that I don't know that I understood that our role with Facebook, because I figured our role is with Facebook administrating and moderating what's going on to keep it aligned to the rules.
Right.
And it seems to me that what we're doing and what you're saying is like, this group is more than that. Like it's speaking to something that we don't have in place yet, that's speaking for a council beyond ourselves who have, I don't know, it just feels like we could certainly close the group, but I don't know that this is what I would have thought was the administration of the council in totality. And that's
No, this is the administration of the Facebook group.
but we ought to have a responsibility to have had conversations with some of the other members that are not in leadership places yet, but want to be in leadership places. I think, we're
Yeah,
we're autonomous right now. You've been autonomous up until now, but as putting together these other councils to be part of leadership, 'this probably would be something to take into the council of the leaders of the other councils, the other like 9. You know,
And what we've been doing up till now is playing catch up and just trying to keep the container stable and hold the values that, you know, encompass all of the values in our hearts, to hold it stable until those councils are in place, because it's a slower process to have the councils form and consider and come up with solid
Right.
agreements. So
Right.
we're really just trying to keep things safe and secure until the councils are formed.
I can understand that totally. And I can see the value of closing it with the understanding that it's closed right now for a period while we stabilize here, build organizations, because it, the road, if we feel stable enough, we could open it again. But right now, I could see closing it for that reason, and knowing that a collaborative model, the women's model, always takes more time. And you're right, catch up is what we has been in the mode of catch up.
Yeah.
Excellent that, a pause,
Yeah,
because we're not in any rush and we want to do this with
I think you're right. I think
personal health and vitality. They've got to recognize, we're doing beyond the ordinary commitment and focus and attention and tending and babying. I mean, we are the protectors. We're the dangerous women that are saying, oh, this is so precious. And 52,000 right now, we need to stabilize.
Right.
I would call it pause. I would call it pause, and definitely that would be a pose. You know, this is where we're at. This is what we're doing, why we're doing it, and I would put it under. There's no, I think under we've got to use maybe the file tab more, because I can't see any other tabs where we could put those. We can post. This is what we're doing, but there's no. But the rules ought to be maybe in the files and the. You know what I mean? So we ought to.
What files are you speaking to? I'm not sure.
There's a tab at the top of the page for files, and you can upload PDFs to, but I don't know that people are really familiar with that aspect of it.
This remember yesterday I said, this is going to require teaching our members.
Yeah.
All we have right now is the capacity to pin to feature. And so in this pause, seeing how we can design or make our page have those files understood, or I love that what you put in there, Mayana, that if you have an event that you want to have posted, you have to have it approved. I love that. Was a brilliant insertion.
Right. Yeah, we have the featured events, media, files, guides, and people. I don't know that there's I looked, I couldn't see too many others that would be good, but we can pin an event or we can pin things for sure. But I've also put under the files, I didn't put under guides because I thought maybe that was standards. So I put under there the file about the whole PDF for the values. So it's
good.
Accessible. And that's what I'm thinking, something that can be accessible. Somebody who came on today pins it and gets it, or posts and gets it. But now a month down the road, where it's not lost, And so if we start training, that's part of also that organization we talked about yesterday, is the training.
Yeah. Carol, you had something?
Yeah. It's my understanding that even if you close the group, then it just means that people that want to come in need permission.
Yes.
And they need accepting. So you'll still be doing a heap of that.
Yeah, and we're at 5,000 a week.
Yeah.
Coming in. So if we close it, we have to approve 5,000 a week.
Yeah.
And that's somebody's administrator or moderator's job description.
Yeah. And that's a
Somebody
big.
want it more, Beverly?
Got to go put my mum into care tomorrow. Mm.
The time
Yeah.
consuming, wise. No.
Now, I have a couple of queries on what you wrote, Mayana.
Sure.
To me, who belongs in this group could possibly go after guiding principles, because that's where you have where men can come in,
Yes.
and that would follow that. You've got the
Okay.
guiding principles, and then the who belongs to this group.
Right. Okay.
In sacred comments of, you've got under guiding principles, you've got sacred community of women, which
Yeah.
to me indicates exclusive.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
it's
reading it again
women.
this morning and was even from yesterday I have to revise. So, yeah,
It
yeah,
could
it's,
make,
this is a
and the
challenge.
amount of people that are just getting on this bandwagon about the men is just overwhelming. When you're trying to filter,
So I could just say this is a sacred community and take out
Yeah.
of women,
Mm.
or no.
The title. I mean,
Uh-huh.
we've got others.
But it's grandmother's
I'm sort of
council.
almost at the stage is,
Yeah.
why don't we just make it
But-
women?
Grandmother's council. It's not grandfather's council. It's grandmother's council.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what we've titled it to be. You know, when you say here we are gathering of grandmother's wisdom, we're really, what I'm seeing is and I'm excluding men in my conversation, we are a gathering of women who are yearning for grandmother wisdom. That's really what we are.
Mm.
We're gathering of women. And if you want to say women and men, I don't know, that's a big issue. It's a big issue for a lot of people. It's
Especially those women that have not healed the trauma from men.
Right.
there's a
Mm.
And
There
that's
There's a
most.
lot of those. Yeah.
That's most of it. Yes.
Yeah, that's most women. So, this is our name, Grandmother's Council Network. That's
Yeah.
our name. And that's the question is, why are you using that name if that's not who you are and what you're,
Well, there we need to define the
That's what
grandmother's
I found out.
council. It is a pattern keepers. It's they have the perspective of the whole and all the Mother Earth and all the elements, but they are in good relations with the chief.
Yeah, but they don't include the chief in the council.
No, they do
Right.
not. But they do have
Right.
a relationship where they expect to be listened to, and that's where we're at. Is we haven't been honored or recognized as a place of power and authority.
and I really felt that post and the saying that if you say you're a grandmother's council and men are present,
Yeah.
that is not
It
a
is
grandmother's council,
Right.
Yeah.
because the men aren't there in council. The
Right.
women council together.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm.
I personally would say that the Facebook page is only for women, and the website gives opportunities for relationship interactions, Zoom calls, events, to give for the women's council then to share what the women have coalesced from their own wisdom, to share it in a way that men can participate. I think Facebook should be exclusive to women, and that with the understanding that we are in the beginning phase for a lot of these, the beginning phase of being heard, of being able to cry, to be able to, whatever, in order for them to get to the clarity of who they are as a council member. Because a lot of them will come in traumatized. They're not a council member yet.
Right. Yeah.
And we are attracted on Facebook. That's, I think, why we're getting the blowback that men don't belong here. I don't think
Yeah.
they in Facebook.
It's
And
interesting. So that turns the whole conversation upside down now that we have so many members. It turns it upside down because we were saying the Facebook was for everyone and the website was for women. But the website is to share the wisdom
yes, yes. You know, and when you go
and
to
it's more controllable. Sorry.
when you go into a community with an idea of what you think that community needs, that's where you begin. But the community has to tell you what they need. And that's what we're hearing from these women. They need safe. They need to hear wisdom from women. They need exclusively women. We're hearing from them what they need. We either listen to them and ignore them, listen to them and say, we got to shift this. I think it's shift it. I don't think we need a survey. I think we can look at the postings and they're saying, I'm here because I'm a wisdom keeper. I'm here because I want wisdom keepers. I'm here looking for grandmothers and I don't want men here. I don't feel safe. That's what they're saying.
Well, that's again my perspective as the one who has held the forum since 2018. You know, I've been the one that's kept it alive till February, March 8th with the lunar eclipse. We're at a monumental moment where we can choose to repeat the old patriarchal pattern of separation. And I, for one, have been told that we are to become androgynous. We are to become a he, she, it. And yes, I hear that there has been a great amount of comments about the masculine. But if we're looking at 50,000 people, I want you to look at the number of people that are saying, go for it. Men should be allowed. And so I'm a mathematician. I'm looking at the numbers. Okay, so there's 1%, 2% that are vocal about the male issue. There are available council sites, grandmother council sites that are for women only. And several have said, you know, well, direct them this way. This is what they're looking for. So I personally, you hear me, vote no to women only on Facebook.
And I would probably do the opposite because of my teaching, Suzanne. Because I think the inclusion of the women in my teachings from the ancient ones, it's the women's role to set values, to design a culture and policy from those values. Women to do that. That would be the council. They set the policy. They design. They birth that culture and let it see how it goes. While men are outside, simply nurturing, just loving and nurturing. Then when that is ready to form, then that's when there's a working together of the love is being brought in by the men, the design that is there by the women. That's when the unity in a different way comes together. In my teachings, a woman being in council, in their circles in the forest, always were them alone doing the design. What does this community need? We're the ones who designed it. We are the ones who needs to change it. And then, and it has nothing to do with separation. It has to do with responsibility. And our response, my teachings, our responsibility as women is what has been crushed and denied us. And we're just starting to get back to, oh my gosh, I do have a voice and I have a voice in this sisterhood, not yet in the unity yet, but here in this sisterhood. So I would vote Facebook be exclusively women. and then our applications, our projects, our actions, our events can be women, men, both. I think
Mm.
have their own councils too. That they should be doing exactly what they're doing. They should have grandfather's council, and how can they be the better nurturers that they were intended to be? Because that's their healing. Our healing is to get into where our voice is heard and acknowledged, a powerful in a sisterhood. So that's my teachings.
So I come from not having any wise women in my life ever perspective.
Yeah.
And always lots of men telling you what to do, what to, and, in my personal work and in the circles that I called, I welcomed everybody, men, women, and children. I wanted children to even be in the circles so they could come to learn what it meant to be in circle.
That's
And I'm listening to this woman that made that post. She was born in 1924 or 1928, and she's a great grandmother who is speaking indigenous wisdom. And I hear what you're both saying and value the wisdom that you're both saying. And I know that there has to be a way for us to all come into harmony in this, in a feminine circle, to really come into how we are how we're going to hold this container, because I have to come back to that. This is a container that we are responsible for holding. And sometimes to you, Suzanne, you've been holding this for so long, and it takes on a life of its own, and it grows as it wants to grow. And, we can't really hold it down. The container can't limit and hold it back from how it wants to grow. The container has to be big enough for it to grow with it, or to be a structure in the center that it grows upon. And if it's growing now to the place where it says, I really need to go into my moon lodge, I'm at that point where I need to go in my moon lodge, and I don't want any of the men in the moon lodge with me. Maybe we are there during this adolescent phase of the group.
Okay.
I think there's, again, going back to teachings, and I don't think they're that dissimilar really, but women have been so crippled in our way, and it is our voice. Men have been so crippled in their way, and it is their heart. How many men have been taught to be the nurturer in a community? No, they've been told to be the king of the mountain. So they have their own healings to do, and I really see the place where the women who are coming from the values, because we see a bigger picture. How does everything relate? And so we have the values. We are the value setters because we see how everything relates, and being strong in that regard causes a community to form differently than under domination. It allows men to say, I'm gonna have to take down that. I have to be the king and have the most money. I'm gonna sit by the side of the stream and I'm gonna meditate and fill the world with love. And I totally have been involved with and love those cultures who are in that place where everyone has a voice, including the children. But that is because women's culture would allow it, where the current domination culture does not. There's a lot of healing, both men and women, and a lot of our children are coming up pretty damn good, I think. But there's a lot of healing that needs to be done, and I think we're, like you say, we're maybe in that process of teenager age where we have to say, this is our moon lodge, and men, we love you. Go get your heart lodge, create your heart lodge, because we're going to need you there. I don't know.
So what I'm hearing and seeing is we are exuding what a grandmother council is about right now. We're living it out. And we're at a threshold point where Suzanne, grandmother Suzanne, who's been the great grandmother holding all these potentials, is passing the baton to the Global Grandmother Council administration, the founding. And this is our first time for collaboration and possibility. And a formal statement from grandmother Suzanne that at this stage, we are now going to take a pause and have restructure this group as women only. Is that what I'm hearing?
I would so totally support that, Suzanne.
I'm
Yeah.
fine with it.
And I think that we can use the Moon Lodge, since that's what came through, because I didn't think of it before. We can use that and say that in this stage of our growth, we're going to enter the Moon Lodge, and just recognize that we're in our adolescence, and we're going to come through this with some real solid structure and knowledge of who we are as councils.
Women did that in the villages. We had moon lodges at least once a month, didn't we?
Yeah,
Up in the village. It wasn't in the village it was discussed. It was in the Moon Lodge.
Yeah.
Men did the nurturing, kept things going. They supported all possibilities, and they trusted the women to kind of come to an awareness of how the values needed to be applied differently or whatever. But yeah, they did it regularly. They just, and
also, all the women had their cycles together, because before electricity, we all had our cycles at the same time. So the Moon Lodge was on a cyclical process.
Days.
One of the things I'm very excited about with my book is that I write the 4 years of ceremony with Brook Medicine Eagle, starting in 84 to 88. In 1987 is when we did Dance Wake the Dream. And it is an expose of Brooke's teachings, and it covers the Moon Lodge. It covers it to detail. And I'm just so excited that there's going to be a time that, like grandmother Sharon was speaking to, this is what our foremothers have really wanted to keep going.
Yeah. And
Okay, so we're going to do a grand pause, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
The
grandmother's grand pause. I like that.
with an announcement that Suzanne has embraced this council. It is in effect as of now, and there's newness.
Right.
Might give you time to finish that book, Suzanne.
Well, hun, I have, it gives me goosebumps. I've got so much of it written, and I had that traumatic brain injury and getting the vision for the Peace Wheel practice, and I've written it up, but every time I get really close, coming from my chemo treatments, I've just had my brain together enough to attend it, and this happens, and so I know without a shadow of a doubt that this is grace in action, and I'm just a mouthpiece, a puppet, and right now I have to put my attention right here. But Sharon and Mariana, I treasure that we're going to get administrative people and moderated people trained and on board, and that nobody's going to beat us to where we're going. We're only going to get there with us taking one step. And I really want us all to take good care of ourselves. I know that stress is the number one killer, and I can't handle stress.
Mhm.
I choose to be alive, and my garden grows very beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can I make
Uh,
a comment here with this?
mhm.
Perhaps when we, notify that this is going to happen, that we're closed and that it's going to be a women's only group, that we suggest that the men who have been interested in this form their own grandfather's group, so
I,
that they can go alongside that us side by side.
I
I'm
love
going, I'm going to have Androsh has been wanting to do that. So he'll start a hardest group
Yeah, great.
and invite all the men to join it. And we'll announce that also.
I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Carol. Because I was sitting, what do we do with the men who are already here? Great.
Yeah. And some of those men are just pages and
Yeah.
not really men. So that's cleared out already.
Yeah.
If we could take just a deep breath for a second, I want to pause and go to a subject of care. I want to bring Michelle into the circle here. Michelle has asked for a certificate or a title of some kind as she's moving into other circles there in Australia and out of the administration. She wants something that honors what she did here, that isn't just her saying it about herself. She's asking for some kind of recognition from the Global Grandmothers Council Network for the work that she did while she was here, and her midwifing. That's one word that came out, that she was a midwife. She was a catalyst. She brought me in and brought Suzanne and I together. And I feel like that is something that maybe we could come up with something for her and respond to that.
I'd be in a
Sure.
When you were talking, coordinator came to mind, but I don't know whether that's relevant to her.
No, not an administrative title. It has to just be energetic for her.
like, would that be something like, would be a letter that she could then
Mhm.
want
Or
to say?
certificate. A certificate she could even frame and put on her wall. The Global Grandmothers Council is so grateful for your participation in the blooming
Formation.
of our organization. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
in the formation, in the
Or in the birthing.
yeah.
I wasn't there, but I do know what it takes, and she was definitely a part of that, is my understanding.
Yeah.
So it takes a lot, and I would be happy to have that done.
Yeah.
Well, Grandmother
Certificate
Suzanne could make a statement acknowledging that
Yep.
a fellow, a sister light worker initiated the call that I responded to and took action. And so she is a founding seed keeper, founding vision holder, founding
She's not a
singer
founder.
to the song.
I think she would be a founder. I think she would be a catalyst, though, because the founding had already been done and
Right.
it had been planted, but it was just kind of like just there,
She,
stabilized. And
she
so maybe
fertilized it. She fertilized it. She infused it with
another good
an
word.
intention.
And actions.
Uh-huh.
connection.
What I'm also hearing is that her giftedness, that, we all want to reclaim our true giftedness, and her giftedness is receiving messages from the grandmothers and then taking action. And that's north on the Great Wheel, which is, the wisdom keepers, and delighted to honor that kind of giftedness to be a messenger.
How about if we give her a White Buffalo Award?
That sounds good.
But
Make a certificate with that.
what I'm wondering is this: are we going to initiate that possibility for others?
Yes.
I think we would, as we have councils.
I think if we have, my daughter saved an organization. Truly, it was going on her, and so they had the volunteer appreciation picnic, right? And during the picnic, they spoke to her place that they were still in existence and thriving, and thanked her for that work. And and gave her a salmon plate, with a salmon on it, because they save the salmons here in our
love it. A letter of appreciation. I heard that come from you. A letter of appreciation or certificate of appreciation.
She actually used the word certificate.
And
Yeah, I think that is something that you can then either, I'll say, put in your resume, put in your on your Facebook page, or something that you're initiating as a thing. As an award.
It's an acknowledgement to you. We want to acknowledge, we want to appreciate, right? That's our values. We want to encourage. And so if we do that, then I would like, then it's something within our community that we have, that it can happen periodically in some fashion. It's fine.
I think so. And I'd be glad to create a form, to have that. And and we'll put your words on it, Grandmother Suzanne, for Michelle, for what, if you just send me some words that you'd like to have on it, and we'll just make it so. Thank you.
Right. Because I checked out Michelle's site and she really, we talked about track record. This is an important milestone and an important acknowledgement and validation. And I'd like to give her that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, good. And I'll send it out for everyone to look at and adjust and comment on before I give it to her. And we could even give it to her in a Zoom if you want. Do you want
that? I think it'd be lovely.
Yeah.
Just not this week. Man, this week.
There's so many Zooms at the moment.
I am full this week.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Mayana, are you going to the email you sent this morning, which I just was impressed with the language, and I did see editing things that needed to be done. Are you going to send us a PDF, or do I have to cut and paste and make corrections?
I can send a PDF, but that I thought it was easier to correct without a PDF.
So that's what I'm asking. So do you just want me to cut it and then make corrections and then send it back?
Sure.
Okay.
Suzanne, also, you could just click forward, click forward. That puts it in a whole new draft. And then you can
edit it.
Okay.
And put her address. You'll just have to put her email in it. So you could do it.
I have the question because I'm just kind of slow at getting 2 email addresses. Now I've got an email address with Global Grandmothers.
I've been using Circle at Global Grandmothers. That's the administrative that eventually I hope somebody else will take over Circle at Global Grandmothers. But right now I have Circle and then my own personal Mayana at Peace Production. So either one, but I've been really active in the Circle one for this.
Okay. Well, my question is, Sue Starrose at Gmail is the only email I have used before. And now, when will I use Suzanne?
Whenever you want to use it, you have the email and you have the password. You can use Sue Star Rose at globalgrandmotherscouncil.org.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. That helps me.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, do
Okay.
we feel like, Carol, did you have something?
Yeah, as there was a lot of posts today. Now Waverley, I must admit
Wave,
that what was that?
Waveney?
Yeah. Waveney, yes. I must admit I put 4 of her posts as spam because she put the same reply to 4 different people in one feed,
Ah,
and it also said, you can message me or something, and that to me that
oh, that doesn't sound like,
No,
no,
that doesn't sound
well, there
like
was
Waverley.
four in one feed, so I just got.
well, Suzanne had
Then
said that
I saw that other post on it,
Suzanne had
Yeah,
said that she
and at the
found
moment,
another person using that name.
just
Ah,
Waveney, not the whole name. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think we're onto something here.
yeah, and then now somebody has put, I think there's about 20 posts of hers where she's just said welcome, whatever, but all of her posts have been marked as spam.
Right.
And I'm looking at it and thinking, what? And there's also 2 posts that I can't see why they're on there. There's one that's a photo that somebody says is,
False news, it says. It
yeah,
says,
false news.
I don't know what
And I
that,
went on, and it's a legitimate post, and I'm thinking,
right.
why is it false news? It's a
Because
photograph.
well, I saw one that said false news because it was her post and then she put an emoji of loving a heart on her own post. And they're saying, and I was like, well, you can love your own post. Why can't you love your own post?
Yeah.
You know?
No, this one was just, I'm introducing myself, and here's a photo I took. Admittedly, it was a beautiful photo. It may have even been a dummy photo, but
Uh-huh.
to me, that's no excuse to make it a false post.
Right. And Facebook is doing a lot of these things and we don't understand it. That's why I asked Alicia to come in because I've been banned for an hour 6 or 7 times just by commenting on a post.
Yeah.
And
What
I
did
don't
she
know
say
why.
about you being blocked?
She hasn't figured it out yet.
Yeah,
Oh.
I know that you get blocked if there's if you put a lot of posts on, but yeah, if you just commented on 1 or 2, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yes, I didn't know what to do. I thought, why is this there? So how with Waverley, is it? No,
Waveney.
Waveney.
When
Yeah.
I see them, I just approve them. I just
Yeah.
Mm.
But you said that there was one that was a fake one. Do
but
you
it
know
wasn't.
the
Oh, that
difference
there
was?
was Suzanne found a post that she thought was a cloned or something of Waveney Thode. So Waveney Thode she used to be Waveney Grace Thode, and now it's Waveney Thode. And I don't know if Waveney Thode shows up on the post all the time, if it's just a comment or just her name Waveney. I'll have to look into that. I don't know.
Well, Waverley Thode is on the comments that have come through
Mhm.
there, and it was on the 4 comments that I.
Did it say Waveney Thode?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Being aware, probably what happened is one of the cloned ones was inappropriate and got banned or approval only or something, and that cut her in that web. That's probably what's happening. So we probably aware that there's 2 And what we can't do, can't we just, the one that's a fake one, that's just the name, we can just block that one, can't we?
If you find it, but when I went on, it was a proper one, you know. The one
The
that was
problem-
before that I've done was a proper post. It was well,
Yeah.
if, you know, went back, if they go back to, you know, 1918 or whatever it is, you know.
And the challenge I have is I will search for someone's name based on a post that I see, and then I search to see what else they've done, and they don't show up at all.
Yeah. I've
And
had
those
that.
I
tried
block
to-
and cut out.
It doesn't give me an option to do anything with them. I can't find them at all. Like there were some posts of just pictures of like the royals, you know, those things that somebody found a way around. They
Yeah.
instead of posting the whole thing, they just put some pictures on there, and I couldn't even find them and delete them.
I found them. I have found them probably 6 different times so far and deleted them. It's a
Yeah.
thread. We've had that kind of a thread before, and hopefully it's going to phase
Vita
out.
something, or it was, yeah, Vita. I recognised from what you said about Vita something, and I saw one of those today, and I think I reported it, but I don't know where it went. Yeah.
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 Because I always report the posts and then do it there, because I found
Right.
if I do it on mine, it only deletes it from mine.
Yes. Yeah, you have to report it to group admins first.
Yeah.
Which is what
Because
what
I
I've been
was
trying to instruct the members on, you know, report to group admins and then delete and block.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I tried that with one, and I thought, oh yes, I've got it. And then somebody else says, well, I can still see it. And this was 6 hours later. Oh, right. So that's how come I know that happened.
Yeah.
So I'm going to need to wind up here.
Yes.
What I heard is we are, Mayana, and we're going to make a moon pause or
Yes.
grand pause, and that initiating a statement of we, the Global Grandmother Council, met and have made the decision it's going to be women only when we open it back up.
So are we closing the group and approving memberships?
Yeah, what was that you were saying, Beverly?
We are going to invite more moderators in, aren't we?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
We could say that we could say that we're going into a space, the space of the pause to go into our Moon Lodge as women only, but without closing the group. Because if we close, it won't make any difference. The only thing, if we close the group,
It's just more work.
Yeah.
still have
Yeah.
more work. But if we say our intention is this, and then act from our intention, then we'll just have the same amount of moderating and, you know, clearing out. But it will, I guess it will put, and we could also say, and realize that we also are, the moderators are wanting you to, if you hear a male voice coming in, report it to us and we'll handle it, something like that.
Mhm.
Mm.
Just let them know that
Are we going to put it onto private for while we're in pause?
but we do that, then we have to moderate. We have to approve.
You have to approve 500 a day, yeah.
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 And so once we make that declaration of women's only, will we remove the men from the website?
I
Invite the men that are there to follow hardest.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
We'll
Yeah.
do that. We'll create the other group and invite the men that are in there to join the other group
Yeah.
and invite them to leave,
Mhm.
but not kick them out.
Right.
No.
The-
And say for the, you know, we've sort of heard about the safety aspects of the women, and we recognise
And
and
we
as
know the
Global
trauma.
Grandmothers group,
Yeah.
and you know, in history that has been a women's only circle, so we're respecting that.
Yeah.
And we ask them to
And then us as moderators and administrators, then if a man posts, we can message him and say, thanks for your post. We're removing it, but invite you to go here.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Moving it to go here. So it will be our job not to moderate people coming in, which is lots, and redirection of mail posts and comments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank
Okay,
you.
I have to,
thank
I have
you.
to, I have to sing.
Okay.
Joy to the world, joy to all the fishes in the deep blue sea, joy to you and me.
Yay!
Oh, thank you
I'll
all
just
so
say that
much.
Everyone.
perhaps what Sharon just said could be in the rules part or something like that.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
we've got that text there too.
And also in the pause announcement that men
Yeah.
will be invited to go this, and here's where they can go, and that's where their posts and comments will be directed to. So we can have it in the rules agreement,
yes,
column
Yeah.
agreement. Oh,
yeah.
but also in the announcement. That would be good.
Okay,
Yeah.
Thank you, loves.
thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.